Feel into the wave-like pattern of your breath. As you inhale, feeling the waves brushing into shore. And as you exhale, the waves go back out into the water. And the whole pulsation begins again. So without forcing your breath, the tides move in and the tides move back out. There's a natural pause at the top of your breath and at the bottom of your breath. Connecting into stillness and peace that live within you. Just like the peace that comes when we watch the waves, the movement of water, or the stillness of water. I'm going to read Gandhi's prayer for peace. I offer you peace. I offer you love. I offer you friendship. I see your beauty. I hear your need. I feel your feelings. My wisdom flows from the highest source. I salute that source in you. Let us work together for unity and peace. Fold our hands together at our heart center in Anjali Mudra, so the fingertips are pressing together and the thumbs are connected to your chest. Take a moment to ask yourself, how am I feeling in this moment? Letting whatever bubbles up to be your answer without wanting to change it or judge it. Just hold it in your heart. And we're going to begin to move sound now through our bodies with the sound of Om, universal sound of love. And we're going to chant it 3 times together, sending it out into our families, community, and into our world. Let's take a deep breath in together. Release your hands and find your collarbones at the top of your chest. Drop down an inch below into the hollows here. And And you can massage here on your kidney 27 points, or you can thump, or you can always tap out in your energy field if any points feel really sore or uncomfortable, and you'll still have the same benefit. So just tuning into what feels really nourishing to you as you breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, coming into our wake up practice. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, stimulating all the meridians in our body, waking up our organs, our energy bodies. One more cycle of your breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Good. Find your center of your sternum bone at the center of your chest. You can use one or two hands here, tapping. You could also massage right here. Again, just what feels intuitive. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Sending a message to your immune system to be strong and vigilant. Find out anything that wants to come in that isn't needed. Thinking about that army around your body and in your body to protect you. Letting it be strong. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling out through the mouth. Good. Find your hands on the side seams of your body, right near your low ribs. Massage or thump here on your spleen meridian points, the eternal nourisher of our body, our spleen. Continuing to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. Find your fingers now on your cheekbones, directly under your pupils. Tap or massage here on your stomach meridian points. Sending grounding energy down through your body, into your legs, your feet, and connecting you to the earth. Continuing to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. And shake off your hands, relax your hands on your thighs, close your eyes, and observe your body here in silence. Continue to breathe in through our nose and out through our mouth as we tap our hand to our thigh on the same side. Then we're going to pause, shake off our hands, and cross over opposite hand to opposite thigh. Crossing over the energies of our body, waking up both sides of our brain this morning. I always feel like I need help with that, so this helps me to feel more awake and clear, and hopefully you can feel that too. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth one more time. And then slowly come to a pause. Place your hands in front of your pubic bone, off of your skin, a couple inches out. And we're going to seal in an affirmation into our subconscious mind, into our body and energy field. And the affirmation I'm going to offer this morning is I deeply love and completely accept myself. I deeply love and completely accept myself. As you bring that affirmation into your mind, you're going to inhale your hands up the center line of your body to your mouth. Hands turn out. Exhale your arms up overhead and right back down in front of your pubic bone. 3 more times. Inhaling and exhaling. I deeply love and completely accept myself. Even if you don't feel like that's true yet or that you really believe it, continue to say it and let it shift the patterns of your mind. One more time. Good. Place one finger at your third eye between your eyebrows, one finger at your navel. Press in and pull up for 3 cycles of your breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Balancing your emotions this morning, connecting you to your center. Place your hands one on top of each other at your heart center. Breathe deeply for 3 breaths. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. And we're going to make our way onto our backs. I'd like you to have a block available to you or your folded blanket or a bolster. You'll be using that eventually under your hips. And then a little head and neck pillow if you need that. And then you'll just find your way onto your back. And when you arrive on your back, set your feet up hip distance apart. Let your feet track straight ahead. And let your heels be walked in toward your buttocks. So the knees are aligned right over your ankles. And we'll begin to move in flowing bridge pose with our breath. So inhaling deeply, let your arms float up, overhead, press into your feet and lift your hips up, toning your back body, bridge pose. Exhale, slowly lower your vertebrae, your hips, and then your arms back to your sides. You're following your breath. The inhale, taking your arms overhead, the hips rise up. The exhale, slowly lowering your hips down and arms to your sides. Continue to flow here for a few more breaths, feeling your back body light up with muscle energy and your front body open with organic energy, which just means that it's lengthening, softening, and opening energy on the front body. 2 more times with your breath. We'll be breathing in through the nose and out through the nose now in yogic breath. But anytime you need to feel like you would like to release excess energy, stress, or emotion, you can exhale out through your mouth. You'll know that intuitively. Okay, the next time your hips rise up toward the sky, let your arms come back down to your side. So you're staying in bridge pose. Press down into your feet, hands, backs of your shoulders. Feel your back light up and your hamstrings. 3 more breaths. Opening our lungs, cleansing our liver, strengthening our backs. When you're complete, you'll slowly lower 1 vertebrae at a time back to the mat. Your hips come down last. Walk your feet apart and let your knees rest on or near each other in constructive resting pose. And just soften the tops of your hips and your belly for 3 breaths. Then let your knees float apart. Walk your feet to the wide edges of your mat so your knees are above your ankles. Your arms can stretch out to the sides. If your shoulders feel good overhead with your arms overhead, then let them go there. Root your heels down and pick your toes off the earth. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, let your knees fall to the right as you roll onto the edges of your feet into a windshield wiper stretch. Take a full cycle of your breath here, sending permission to your hips and your knees to release any tension. Then follow your inhale as your knees reach up toward the sky and then they release to the other side. Full cycle of your breath here. So you can start to move at your own breath, with your own breath, from side to side, going into your hips and into your knees, and allowing them to release any sticky spots. When your knees fall to the right side again, pause here. If your arms are overhead, take a hold of your left wrist and gently stretch your arm away from your body, deepening the side opening. And then guide your arm over your head toward your right. So you're coming into a deeper side bend. You have the option here to add your right heel onto your left thigh, to anchor your leg and to deepen the outer hip. IT band down your outer leg. 3 breaths here. Return your arms straight overhead and release your wrist. Release your foot to the mat and float your knees back up toward the sky and let them fall to your left side. Take a hold of your right wrist. Stretch your arm gently away from your right hip. Option to add your left heel onto your right thigh and to guide your wrist over your head to the left, coming into, think about that crescent moon shape we do a lot when we're standing. 2 more deep belly breaths here. Send your breath into the sticky areas, breaking up those tissue patterns. Good. Release the wrist. Foot comes back to the mat. Your knees float up and your arms come back down to your sides. Walk your feet in hip distance apart. Stretch your left leg long onto the mat with your heel rooted down. Draw your right knee into your chest with your hands behind your right thigh. And we're going to flow here with our hip. So as you inhale, your thigh bone moves back right above your hip. Your leg straightens and your toes point. That's the inhale. As you exhale, your knee comes back in toward your chest. Inhaling, thigh bone back into your hands, leg straightens, toes point. Exhale, knee to chest. Follow the pace of your own breath. When your knee comes back in toward your chest, pause here. Flex your right foot and anchor your left arm onto the mat, straight out from your shoulder. Your right hand is on your outer right knee, holding it there. Now, as you inhale, you're going to open your right hip and knee towards the earth like you're opening a book. And as you exhale, your knee will come right back up top at center. You're going to flow here with your breath. Inhaling, opening your hip and knee towards the right. Exhale back to center. Now we want to keep our sacrum stable. So our left hip and heel stay rooted on our mat. So our left hip doesn't hike up and follow our knee. Let's do this 2 more times. And then pause up top. Switch hands on your knee and anchor your right arm onto the floor. Relax your left leg. Now we're coming into a twist, an outer hip stretch. So we'll inhale here, and then we'll exhale and guide our knee to the left, over the body and towards the floor. Our right shoulder blade stays anchored. Inhale, press your outer knee into your hand as you bring the knee back up over the right hip again. 3 more times, exhaling the breath, guide the knee to the left, towards the floor. Inhale, pressing the outer knee into your hand. Back up to center. 2 more times with your breath. You come back up top again. Pause here. Stretch your leg out and slowly lower it to your mat. And then relax in your body. Second side, left knee comes into your chest, hands come behind your thigh. Your right sitting bone down to your right heel are planted into the earth. As you inhale, your thigh bone moves away from your chest, your leg straightens and your toes point. As you exhale, your knee comes back in toward your chest. Think about you're pumping your hip right now like you're pumping a well. And it's helping to lubricate your hip joints so that tension can be released and you can walk more freely and do the things you enjoy doing. One more time. Inhale, thigh bone back, straighten the leg. Exhale, knee to chest and pause here. Flex your left foot and place your left hand on your outer knee, right arm on the earth. Here's the opening the book hip opener here. So as you inhale, you'll slowly open your left knee out toward the floor while keeping your right hip on your mat. Exhale your knee back up to center. 3 more times with your breath. And when your knee comes back up top, pause. Right hand comes onto your knee, left arm onto the earth, right leg relaxes here. Inhale here deeply. Exhale, guide your knee over your body to the right. Left shoulder blade anchors your left shoulder on the mat. Inhale, press your outer knee back into your hand to come back up top to center. 3 more times with your breath cycle. Come back up top again, pause, stretch your leg long, and then slowly lower it to your mat, relaxing your body. one knee at a time and place your feet on the mat, hip distance apart. Find your block, your bolster, or your folded blanket. And you're going to lift your hips up and slide your prop right under your hips, right on the back of your sacrum. So the bottom edge of your prop will come to the bottom edge of your buttocks where it splits into two halves. You want to make sure that your low spine isn't encumbered by your prop, but it has its natural curve. And we're going to move into our core series here, strengthening our core and back. So with your arms down at your sides, your hands are pressing into the earth to lift your sternum and chest up toward the sky. Your low ribs are moving down toward your hip bones, so you feel your core activate. Can you feel that? Everybody feel that movement? And then the low back has its natural curve. So that's what we want to keep while we do these movements for the core. So our first exercise is we're going to inhale our right knee above our right hip with our foot flexed. And then we'll exhale using our core to slowly lower our foot light as a feather back to the mat. Second side, inhale, use your core to bring your knee above your left hip. Exhale, use your core to release your foot light as a feather to the mat. We'll do this 4 more times on each side. The slower you go, the more benefit you'll receive in strengthening the deeper tissues of your core. Once you've done 5 on each side, relax your feet back on the earth and relax your belly. So now we're going to bring our right knee above our right hip, followed by our left knee above the left hip. Our feet are flexed, and this is reverse tabletop, so we'll be returning here a lot. Shins parallel to the floor. Activate low ribs down toward your hip bones and feel your core. Think about those of you who are knitters. You're knitting your low ribs toward your hip bones. This time as we inhale, we're going to dip our right heel towards the mat without touching the mat with our heel. Exhale the knee back to center. Left side, left heel dips down on our inhale. We don't touch the mat, and we exhale back up to center. Again, we'll do 5 on each side. We have 4 more. Both of these movements are initiated from your core. This is your center, where we feel so much of our emotions, where we can feel supported or not supported, and where we want to have a sense of connection to our core, letting it guide us in our decisions, having that gut feeling we hear a lot about. I think there's 1 more on each side. You can always pause if you're complete. And when your knees come back up top again, feel free to take your knees a little bit in toward your chest. Take a little break. Okay, so we'll come back to reverse tabletop. Shins parallel to the floor. Feet are flexed. Low ribs are moving down toward our hip bones. Now we're going to open the book, just like we did on the mat. So we're going to inhale and slowly open our right knee and hip towards the earth while keeping our left hip and leg stable. Exhaling back to center. Second side, left knee and leg slowly opens towards the floor. Right hip is stable. Exhaling to center. So in this practice, it's all about stabilizing the leg that's not moving. That's really the most important part here. And as fast as you can, try to keep the front of your neck relaxed. So you're not tensing there. Make your core do the work. We'll do one more on each side. Good. And then you can let your knees either come toward the chest, or you can always place one foot at a time down on the mat. Let your knees rest toward each other. We'll just take a breath or a break here for a couple breaths. Okay, so our next exercise with our core is we're going to draw our right knee in toward our chest, just with our leg, not with our hands. And our left leg is going to straighten up toward the sky as best as we can as we point out our toes on both feet. Now we're going to lower our left leg from our core just toward the 45-degree angle from the floor to our ceiling. We're not going to go lower than that 45-degree angle. So you'll find your spot. Reach from your core, out your leg, out your toes. You're breathing. And then we'll inhale as we transition to the second side. Left knee draws into our chest, right leg straightens, toes are pointed. Good, now we're gonna move like we're bicycling. So inhale in the transition, exhale as you let the leg reach out long. So slow it down. You really wanna get the lengthening from your core out your straight leg. So it's a slow bicycle. Good. One more time on each side. You can always take a break before I guide you too. Good. Now we're going to reverse our bicycling. So big strokes back. Think about pedaling backwards. Pausing to reach from your core out your straight leg. Really feel that before you move to the next back pedal. Looks really good. One more time on each side. Good. Draw your knees into your chest. Take a little break here. How are we doing in the room? Everybody still with me? Great. Thumbs up online. Everybody with me online? Good. Jerry and Lee. Okay. We're going to lower one foot at a time to the mat. So our feet are hip distance apart again. Stretch your left leg all the way onto your mat, rooting your heel down, toes pop up toward the sky. You'll start to feel a nice release in your left psoas muscles at the top of the left hip. I'm just going to stretch here for a couple breaths. Pressing into the heel, feeling the length ricochet back up to your left hip. And then we're going to switch sides. Drag your right heel down your mat to straighten your leg. Press into your heel and feel the stretch. Move right back up to the top of your right hip. Good. Now draw your low ribs down toward your hip bones. Activate your core. You're going to bring your right leg parallel to your left thigh. So you're lifting your right leg up so both thighs are next to each other. And we're going to inhale our right leg up toward the sky. You can have a bend in your knee as much as you need. And as you exhale, you'll lower your leg back to that parallel nature to the left leg. We'll do this 4 more times, using the core to lift the leg up toward the sky. Foot is flexed. Exhale, your thighs parallel. 3 more times with your breath. Make sure you're not tensing in the front of the neck, but the core is what's doing the work. On your next exhale, lower the leg now all the way to the mat so the heel is pressing into the earth. Come back into that psoas stretch for 3 breaths. And then drag your right heel back toward your buttocks, bringing your foot to the mat. Second side, left heel drags down your mat, rooting the heel, toes up toward the sky. As you inhale, you're going to lift your legs so that both thighs are parallel to each other. And then you'll continue lifting the left leg above your left hip on your in-breath. On your out-breath, slowly lower the thighs parallel to each other again. 4 more times with your breath. All the movements coming from your core center. Your legs might shake, your core might shake, that's okay. It's just showing that you're going to be building strength there through this practice. When you're complete, your left leg will come all the way back to the mat. Heel presses down. Feel the stretch in the top of your left hip for 3 deep breaths. Drag your left heel back toward your buttocks. Foot flat on the earth. Lift your hips up and remove your prop. Lower your hips back down. We'll come into bridge pose 1 more time. Your arms can stay by your sides. You're going to tuck one shoulder at a time underneath you so your lungs and rib cage have just lifted toward the side. Your arms are now rotated out so the backs of your palms are on the earth. When you're ready, you'll press your feet into the earth, lift your hips up, feel your back fire up, feel your buttocks and hamstrings fire up, and now let your buttocks soften a little bit because our buttocks do enough for us. We want to highlight the muscles that need more tone. And now we'll take 5 belly breaths here in bridge pose. As you're ready, we'll slowly lower each vertebrae down, bend your hips to the mat. Walk your feet apart and let your knees rest near or on each other and totally relax your body. Place one finger in your navel Place one finger at your third eye between your eyebrows. Press in and pull up here for 3 deep breaths, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Release your hands, let your knees separate apart, and now roll to your side into fetal pose. Pausing here for a couple breaths as you release your front body towards the earth. Your head will come up last as you slowly press yourself on up. And then let's align ourselves onto our hands and knees with our blocks on either side of the top of our mat if we have them. And then setting up on all fours. If you need a knee pad under your knees, you can get that set up. Okay, how are we doing? Hands are spread wide. The weight of our hands are in the base or ball of our hands and out of our wrists. As you inhale, you'll arch your spine, pressing the earth away, rounding each vertebrae, tailbone draws under, cat pose. As you exhale, you'll hammock your spine, letting the belly soften, the tailbone rise, and the spine lengthen. Move at your own pace, inhaling, arching your spine into cat pose. Exhaling as you hammock your spine into cow pose. Moving with your breath. Who doesn't want to think about a hammock, right? Any other hammock lovers out there? I'm one of them. One more time through each movement, arching your spine and then hammocking your spine. And then come into a neutral spine. Separate your knees apart to a comfortable width for you. And come onto your toenails, bringing your big toes together. Walk your hands out a little bit further, like maybe just another hand length in front. So you have a little bit more space to move your hips forward and to bring your shoulders directly over your wrists. Tone the belly. Inhale here. Exhale your hips back and down, child's pose. We'll flow here 4 more times. Inhaling our hips forward, shoulders over the wrist, heart open. Exhaling the hips back and down. Follow your breath. Bring a little smile to your lips. Feel the openness in your heart. And then let your heart rest in child's pose. One more time through each movement. Finding yourself in child's pose. Hips relaxing back and down toward your heels. Head is going to rest on the palms of your stacked hands. You can always put a block under your stacked hands to bring your head closer to your body if you need that. Otherwise, the hands are on the mat. Forehead is resting in the palms of your hands. 3 deep conscious breaths. Releasing your hips, chest, and head on each exhalation. On your next inhale, slowly rise on up. Set your knees behind your hips, perfectly in line with each other. Step your right foot forward into a kneeling lunge. So you have your blocks nearby you. Set those right underneath your shoulders. Your front knee is stacked over your ankle, and your back toes are pressing into the mat, or you can tuck your toes under and grip the mat. And then let your feet root into the earth, let your hips release toward the earth. Simultaneously, we're going to draw our low belly up toward our navel up toward our sternum up through the crown of the head. So there's the length and the tone and the support. Shoulders moving back. Option to keep hands on blocks. Hands can come to hips, or arms, if you don't have high blood pressure, can rise up overhead and release back. Hugging the legs, the inner thighs in toward each other to create support and stability. Soften in the form. Relax the shoulders. One more cycle of your breath. And then release your hands to your blocks. Slowly draw your back knee up. Step forward. Let's come into a bent knee, standing forward bend, letting our head, spine, arms, and hands release onto the earth with our knees bent. We can always put hands under the blocks if needed. You can gently nod your head, yes. Shake your head, no. Let go of tension in your neck and spine. You can also place your hands on your elbow tips and let gravity pull tension out of your shoulder girdle a little bit deeper. But then release your hands and bring them back to your blocks. We'll step the left foot back. Is that second side?
Right foot. Right foot.
Is it the right foot that needs to go back?
Is it?
No, I have to remember. I think it's the right foot that needs to go back. Yeah.
Yeah, I still feel it in my left knee.
You still feel it in your left knee.
So that's
You
how I
can
know.
always stay up here on straight leg lunge. You don't have to
Although
lower
I
your
brought my
knee down.
blanket down.
But I think our right foot is back now. So second side. All right. Set up your feet firmly planted. Hug the inner thighs in toward each other. Then feel that tone of your front body lifting your lungs and sending your shoulders down your back. Your hands can stay on your blocks, or you can bring hands to hips. Or the arms can travel overhead. Wherever you are, your shoulders are relaxed, and you're finding the peace within your pose. Releasing over-efforting without sacrificing stability. One more cycle of your breath. Hands come back to your blocks. Slowly lift the back knee up and step forward. Come back into the bent knee forward bend. So this is all about your spine. It's not about your hamstrings right now. It's spine and hips. Let the head go. You can always take a hold of the elbow tips and do the shoulder girdle. Good. Now you're going to place your hands over your big toes. As we slowly rise up to standing, we're going to inhale and sweep our hands up into our inner ankles, up the inner shins, inner knees, inner thighs, up the sides of our torso, past our armpits, back down to our side ribs where our spleen meridian lives, rubbing vigorously here. And then we're going to shake off our hands, we're going to shake off our legs, and we're going to set our blocks in front of our feet in mountain pose. So we're not going to be on our knees again if you'd like to remove your knee pad. We're going to come into some of our standing poses. So standing in mountain pose, relax your arms to your sides. Take a moment to feel grounded in your feet, settled in your body. Notice the actions of your mind. And then inhale and stretch your arms up overhead, upward hands. Exhale, let your knees softly bend as your hands arrive on your blocks. Inhale, come up halfway, so your hands can be on your blocks at the tall length with your thigh bones back or hands to shins. Exhale, let your knees soften, release the spine. 2 more times. Inhale, lift and lengthen, so the thigh bones are in and back and they're straight. Exhale, release your spine, bend your knees. 1 more time. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, and release. Take your blocks with you. As you step your left foot back into a straight leg lunge, front knee is stacked over your ankle, and you're on the ball of your back foot. You're going to spin your back heel down, so the pinky toe side of your foot is now parallel to the back edge of your mat, and your right arm is coming to your front side. We're transitioning into side angle pose. The left arm is going to reach up and overhead, reaching toward the top of your mat as your back foot grounds deeply. Bring your belly and your chest toward the left side of your mat, any amount more. 2 more deep belly breaths. Good. Now we're going to slowly rise up with our arms out to our sides in Warrior Two pose. And as we inhale, we're going to slowly straighten our front leg through the rooting of our big toe mound. As we exhale, we're going to bend our front knee again over our ankle. So we're going to flow here mindfully. Now in Warrior Two, it's easy to kind of want to lean forward into the front knee bend, but we actually want to keep our torso right over the center of our pelvis. So it's just the hips that are moving with the front knee. Good, and then make sure your front knee doesn't surpass your ankle, and if it is, see if you can slide your back foot back a little bit more. Good, 1 more time. Inhale to straighten, exhale to bend, and then inhale to straighten your leg, relax your arms. Turn your right foot forward. Turn your left foot out to a 90-degree angle. Second side. Bend your front knee over your ankle. Shimmy your back foot back a little bit more and take a look at your heels. See if your heels can line up in a straight line. Yeah, that looks good. Nice. Then the front forearm comes to the thigh as you bend your knee over your ankle. Right arm is going to reach up toward the heavens, and then you're going to reach it towards the right ear and over the head toward the back of your mat. 3 breaths here, pressing your back foot into the earth. And now revolve your heart and your belly toward the side of your mat. Your head is in line with your spine. You're gazing toward the side of your mat or whatever's over there on your wall. Good. Now inhale, keep your front knee bent and Windmill your arms to warrior two, palms are down. Inhale, slowly straighten your front leg. Exhale, bend your front knee over your front ankle. Now what will help you in not leaning forward and disconnecting from the right hip is your back foot is just as stable as your left foot. So you have to think about, you want weight to go there. You're doing great. 2 more breaths. Nice. Good. One more time. Good. Let your legs straighten. Lower your arms. Turn your foot forward. So now both feet are tracking toward the long edge of your mat. If you have props, your blocks available to you, you're going to set them out in front of you. And we're going to come into a forward bend. So let's bend our knees here and place our hands on our low bellies, on our abdomen. We're going to lift our abdomen up over our pelvis as we bend our knees and hinge at our hips. Bow forward, hands to the blocks. And if you don't need blocks, then you can omit them. So when you bring your hands to your blocks, your knees are still bent. Bring awareness to your inner thighs. Move your inner thighs in and back to slowly straighten your legs as best as you can. Bring your blocks to the level where your legs can be straight. Thigh bones in and back. Good. That looks good. Yeah, nice, Julie. Good, Marilyn. If you have access to going a little deeper, you can lower the blocks perhaps, but I would just stay where your legs feel straight. You feel the stretch in your hamstrings. You're breathing life into the tissue of your hamstrings. 2 more breaths. Good. Now come up halfway. So just let your spine lift so it's parallel to the earth. And we're going to come into a twist. So take your left block at the height that you need it to be at the center of your feet out in front. Your right hand will slide to your hip. Lengthen, tailbone back, crown of the head forward, and now revolve your belly and chest toward the right. If it feels clear in your right shoulder, reach your arm toward the heavens. 3 deep breaths here. Giving your organs a cleansing rinse. As you exhale, lower down. Switching the hand on your block. Left hand on the hip. Revolving your belly and your chest toward the sky. Only if it feels good in your left shoulder will you reach your arm up toward the sky. Continuing to reach the crown of your head toward the top, toward the wall that's nearby you. So just think about extending through the neck, through the top of the head. Good, and then lower down. Let your knees bend again. Place your hands on your hips. Let your heart lead the way as you slowly rise up to standing. Heel toe your feet together or step your feet together into mountain pose. And then give your body, just if it feels like shaking a little bit, let go. Let hands, shoulders, arms shake out. From here, we're going to do a practice called bringing down the flame. And it's a practice to transform any anxiety or overwhelm that we might have in our system, of our bodies, into joy, inspiration. So it's channeling that energy into a balancing or positive quality, which is the power of our emotions. So with your hands on your thighs and you're just in a comfortable standing position, you're going to inhale through your nose and exhale the sound HA. Again, inhale, exhale, HA. Good. Continue that. As you inhale, you'll sweep your arms up overhead, tense your fingers, and connect your thumbs to the crown of your head. Exhale, HA. So you can exhale when you need to. Good. Inhale, release the hands, tent the fingers, connect your thumbs to your third eye, and exhale, HA. Inhale, release the hands, sweep them around in front, tent your fingers, and connect your thumbs to your heart. Exhale, HA. Good. Inhale, release the hands, sweep them around, tent your fingers, thumbs to your navel. Exhale, HA. Flatten the hands on your low belly. 2 breaths, in through the nose, exhale, HA. Again. One more time. Good. Inhale, sweep down the fronts of your legs and off your feet. As you exhale, cover your big toes, sweep your hands to your inner ankles, up the inner shins, inner knees, inner thighs, up the sides of your body, past your armpits, back down to your side seams where your spleen meridian lives. Rub vigorously and breathe as you need to. Good. Shake off your hands, pause here in silence in mountain pose, and just notice how you're feeling after doing that. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Find either your bolster or your folded blanket, with your blanket folded short edges together. So you have a little prop under your hips. And you're going to come and have a seat on it with your legs stretched out. Some of you might like to have your blocks nearby you to add for knee support in our seated cobbler pose. This is where we're heading next. So you're going to come and sit right on your sitting bones. And you'll let your legs and your shins and feet release out. And you'll take a hold of one shin at a time and bring the soles of your feet together. This is where the blocks can come in handy under the knees, or maybe it's one knee you need support. Take your hands behind you and just kind of drag your sitting bones forward a little bit more so that your weight is there and not on your tailbone, which isn't a weight-bearing bone of the body. So then with the hands behind you, come onto your fingertips. Yeah, and press your fingertips into the earth and help your chest to lift. The heels of your feet are pressing together, coming into this seated hip opener. So we're gonna breathe. Some more openness in the inner line of our hips. Most of you, you'll stay right here and continue enjoying right where you are. A couple of you might be able to go deeper into the pose by hinging your hips forward and bringing your hands out in front of you, maybe even on blocks or on the mat. 3 more breaths in your sweet spot of your pose. Slowly rise your spine back up. Take a hold of your knees. Slowly bring the legs together. Stretch your legs out. Give them a little shake out. And then let's come into a seated twist here. So we'll bend our right knee and bring our heel in toward our buttocks. Option to keep your foot right here, or to take the deeper hip opener and twist with the foot flat on the left side of your left leg. We're twisting to the right, so the right hand can come behind you on the floor, and the left arm will either wrap around your right knee, or you'll reach your arm up, turn to the right, and hook the left elbow on the outer right knee. That will take you into a deeper belly twist. So find your sweet spot, and then root your sitting bones down. Stretch back up through the spine. Relax your shoulders. And align your chin right over your sternum. So it's your neck's feeling very happy. And then send your breath into your back. Deep belly breaths. Harmonizing our nervous system. Cleansing our organs of toxins. Releasing tightness in our low back. Three more deep breaths. Into the nose and out through the nose. On your exhale, slowly unwind your spine back to center and stretch your leg out. Second side, bend your left knee, bring the heel in toward your buttocks, or you can take the deeper hip opener foot on the right side. We're twisting now to the left, so let your belly and spine turn to the left. Back hand can either be flat or on the fingertips. Right arm will either wrap, or you'll reach up, turn to the left, and hook your right elbow to your outer left knee. Good, yeah, and then let your spine be long all the way to the crown of your head. Beautiful. Deep breaths as you bring your left ribs around toward the left. Any amount more. Three more nourishing deep breaths. As you exhale, unwind your spine back to center and stretch your leg out. And we'll come and lie on our backs for Shavasana, final relaxation pose. If you have a bolster, you could put that under your knees or a rolled blanket or pillow, and then have some head and neck support if you would like that. Coming into a posture of letting go. Corpse pose is how it's translated. Letting all of our practice integrate as we rest in this pose. And it's a pose of letting go, dying to the old, so the new can be rebirthed within us. into your mat. Coming back to that wave-like nature of your breath. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on. Allow your breaths to deepen. Slowly and lovingly begin to reawaken your body. Slowly making your way onto your side into fetal position. Pausing there for a couple moments to reorient yourself. Gathering yourself back up into a comfortable meditative position. Finding your hands together again at your heart center. Take a couple deep breaths here. And then take a moment to ask yourself, how am I feeling now? I deeply love and completely accept myself. Namaste and blessings to all of you. Thanks for being here in person.
Mhm.
Thanks for all who are online this morning.